Yo, ladies and gentlemen, what's up? It's your boy VUSSY MAGZ back at it with another analysis for you guys. Listen, it's a Monday morning, so this one did my best to make sure this one is not too long, so you guys can quickly check out. You guys already have your watch list and stuff. If you don't, then listen, I don't know what you're doing, man. Look. So if you do have your analysis and your watch list ready, just check these. Put 3 pairs here. I put NES 100, I put AUDCAD, and I put the USD. So just check them out real quick, see what you can take away from them and stuff like that. And if you need extensive help, mentorship, listen. I got my Patreon ready, so I'm giving VIP signals, right? And it's on special. It's only 250 rands or $15. You want to check out the link. Link is gonna be in the description box below, or go to my free Telegram group. Then hit me up or whatever, and let's chat, right? So, all right, let's get it, man.
Juki got the sauce, bitch.
Alright fam, so first chart of today, we're gonna look at the USD ZAR. This chart is on a daily time frame, right? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna look at the overall trend that we've been having over the past couple of months, right? And I say months because this trend really started ever since we got into the lockdown. It was around the same time that we got into this downtrend that we're seeing there nicely, right? So what you see now, the trend line that we have managed to draw here is mainly due to the highs, right? You look at the highs, you want to look at the highs, and then you see that the highs are getting lower each and every time that a new high forms, right? This seems to be the overall trend that's been happening there. We have this high there, then we have a lower high. Then we had a sideways movement there, which means it's inevitable that we have to either get a breakout to the upside and the price push to the downside. We made this support, right? But before we reached to this support, there was this previous support that we had. The price tested, then we break below that zone after we tested it, and then now the price went back to retest the previous support, which was now resistance, and then we went. So what you want to look at, since the price retested this zone here on the 25th of June until 27th of July, which was like about a month, right? The price was in an ascending channel. So if you go to the H4 time frame, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Alright fam, so now when you go to the H4 time frame, this is where you're going to see the descending channel that I was telling you guys about, meaning we had a trend within the trend, right? And they were both in the same direction, meaning the highs there were getting lower and the lows are getting lower. So there were multiple opportunities to sell the price there, and then the breakout occurred there, right? The price broke out, and then now we seem to have crossed the main trend line that we were drawn. So I'm going to show you in the daily time frame. So that descending channel, everything happened there, and then we had a breakout there, and then now the price is back. So the black trend line is the main trend line, right? So all the other blue trend lines, those just symbolize the sub trend lines, right? Which means when the price moves too far away from the main trend line, you want to use the sub trend lines as a alternative to the trend line. They'll still guide you in the same way that the trend line does, right? So now we're to break out. The price came back to this support, which was resistance initially, and then now it's been it's been resistance, and then we basically broke through it. And then now the way I see it, the price broke out of the main trend line, right? The way I see it now, we retesting the trend line, and at the same time we're retesting the previous resistance, because remember it was resistance here. So now that the price is broken above and then we're coming back, we're testing this zone here. Now it's support, right? So it's a confluence, meaning we have basically more than one signal with different indicators. And the first indicator here is going to be this downtrend line that we had drawn initially there, and then the second signal comes from the fact that now it seems like we're testing the support What am I saying? All right, so now let's go to the H4 time frame and see how we can trade this one. So this is where the price is at in the H4 time frame. What I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna draw a trend line. I'm just gonna draw a trend line over this price action there, and then as soon as the price breaks above that zone, I'm basically gonna enter. Even if you just switch to the daily time frame and then you wait for a bullish close on today's candlestick, that's gonna be enough of a signal for you to enter and use that candlestick's low as a stop loss, and then really as the TP, set it at the previous high, the very first high of the trend, right, when the trend started. So if you want to know more about how to trade this one, you want to subscribe to the signal service that I'm offering you guys. Remember, it's still on sale, right? I'm gonna like extend the sale until at the end of this month, because you guys have been like, you know, joining in, and like basically I just want to keep the momentum going. All right, so let's go to the next chart. So the next chart that we have is the NES 100, and you want to look at the NES 100 from the daily time frame first, so you can understand where we got this trend line, right? So we got this trend line starting from May. You want to join the wicks of the candlesticks. It should give you this nice trend line, and then after that you're going to move to the H4. So this is where we're currently at now with the NES 100. We basically had this key resistance zone which we kept on breaking out of, but then this point we retested, the price retested, and then it came back to the trend line, which was a signal to go heavy on the buy, just because we know the trend line. Every time the price comes to the trend line, it's supposed to, if it fails to break out of the trend line, it's supposed to rebound up basically, right? And then now you see that we broke out of this resistance zone. We broke out of it, and then we came back, we tested, we broke below, and then now we came back to the resistance, the peak of NES 100's all-time high, right? We came back, we tested it, and then we failed to break above. So now let me show you what's going on here. If you want to see what's going on here, you want to go to the H1 time frame. In the H1 time frame, this is how the NES 100 looks, and you realize that with this pair, the lower you go in the time frames, the more noise that you're gonna see, right? So it's easy to get psyched out of this one when you have your trades open and stuff, if you look at the smaller time frame. So let me show you what's going on real quick. All right, so looking at the H1 now, this is where we at, right? After you see the support zone that we highlighted and the resistance zone that we highlighted, looking at the price, look at the high that we just made. You can connect it with the pin bar candlestick that we got here. Then we have this nice descending channel, and from this high now, we basically joined it with this low. Then we've got this nice lower trend line. So these two make up a descending channel, and depending on where the price breaks out, if we break out to the upside, obviously you want to buy, but look at how it reacts when it gets there. You might want to have to close the trade, or if you push through, then you know you can open more buying positions, but that's going to depend on how we react when it gets to those zones, right? So that's it for the NES 100. Let's go to the last pair of the day. Alright, so now we're looking at the AUDCAD on the H4, which is the Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, right? So when you look at it in first glance, you might not see anything special about this pair, but listen, I got you. Pay attention, check this out, right? So if you look at this high, right, and you look at this high, and you look at the peak, you realize that this was left shoulder and this was the right shoulder, and this is a head. So we had a head and shoulder pattern there, right? And then this was the neckline. So let's draw the neckline trend line. All right, so now that we've drawn the neckline of this head and shoulder, like I said, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So since this was our neckline, we basically broke out, and according to the rules of the head and shoulders, the same distance from the head to the neckline is supposed to be covered from the breakout until the turning point of that breakout, basically. But I'll try to not like read too much into these things. As long as you understand the overall pattern, doesn't matter how far or how far it goes or whatever, you can just make the most of whatever that the price does, right? So now at the same time, I want to show you something. When you look at the high, this peak, and this was basically a lower high, so automatically that means it's a downtrend, so we can draw a downtrend line. So now that we have our downtrend line, it actually looks like a correction, right? Because the lows are getting higher and the highs are getting lower. right? And then we had our breakout there. Now the price, what we want to look at now, the price, I want to see a retest. If I get a retest of this zone here, meaning that if a candlestick actually makes contact with that spot, I'm gonna and rejects to actually break out and thus continuing higher, then that's going to be a nice signal to sell, right? So you want to pay attention to that. Look for entries in the smaller time frames and stuff like that, right? All right, y'all. So basically from this analysis, that's all I got for you guys today. Listen, I told you I'm gonna keep this one short. I don't want to make it too long, so you guys can already like implement whatever that was missing from your analysis. Take that away from this one. All right, I'm gonna see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, and peace out. All right.